Thanks everyone for joining us for another month of Access the Techs. It will just be myself here today, running through what we're running through today. And from that side of things, what we are going to be running through is quite a lot actually. So talking about Secure Call. So Secure Call is a new product which is coming out later this month, early next month. Talking about what that is, how that works with SaaSboss and what that looks like. We're also talking about our SMS Sender IDs. This is something we launched a couple of months ago, and how that works in SaaSboss, how that can operate, how that can work for your customers and yourself internally, and what that looks like as well, and how that differs from how we've been sending SMSs up until now. Also talking about some feature sets to Go Integrator Kara that people may not be aware about. So what that looks like, how that can work and provide some additional functionality to yourself and your customers. And then finally, some updates to SaaSboss. So what that looks like, a few changes coming and things along those lines. So talking with our SaaSboss 2.0 updates from our side of things. But kicking it off, first of all, is Secure Call. So Secure Call is a new product coming out that we're releasing. And with that, lots of new functionality and interesting things coming from that side of things. If you do have any questions about this or anything I'm running through today, please just add it to the Q&A section at the bottom of the Zoom window, and I'll run through all those at the end. But first of all, Secure Call. So what is it? It's secure card payments over the phone. Doesn't sound too secure. I know that personally, I never like giving credit card details over the phone, something that is never probably the best solution to do. However, Secure Call makes that a different way of being able to provide that. So you're not just calling up, giving your card details over the phone, reading out your contact details, that side of things, for the other person to write it down on a piece of paper because their website's not loading, so they can't enter it correctly, things like that. Gets rid of all of that. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So Secure Call makes that in a way that is a lot more secure from their side of things. So being able to provide that over the phone, clearing that up. So where this kind of operates, so some of the benefits for your customers from that side of things. So it's removing customers don't need to provide that detail verbally over the phone. Lots of reasons why that's not the best thing. Call recording, especially if you are taking credit card details over the phone, you have to turn off call recordings. You can't record those details, things like that. If you do accidentally do that, you need to delete those recordings. Lots of that kind of functionality, don't have to worry about anymore. Eliminates the risk of entering details into somewhere that's going to be hacked or compromised, something along those lines. Don't have to worry about that either. So as I mentioned, I know that working in call centers and things like that, potentially things get written down when they're not meant to be, entered into the wrong information, that kind of situation. Don't have to worry about any of that. That's all automated with the Secure Call platform. And it also means that your customers have a way of being able to take those credit card details over the phone in a PCI compliant way. So if they do need to keep up with that, credit card details is one of those things that's definitely critical from that side of things. Makes that a lot easier from that side of things as well. So the way this operates is you're not reading out credit card details over the phone. The way from that side of things, it's a person on the phone is entering the details by using the numpad on their phone to enter the credit card details, hash to jump to the next setting kind of situation. Caller in the contact center or your customer is not hearing those details at all. Even the DTMF tones are being blocked out before going to the caller, so they don't hear anything. However, with that, you still need visibility of what's happening. So the person on the phone can still see, or the agent taking the call can still see the information being entered in a secure way. So it actually gets starred out and blocked out, so they're not seeing the exact full credit card detail. They can't still copy it down, but they can see that numbers have been entered. Yep, cool, that looks good. We'll take it to the next step and confirm that the credit card goes through as well. So lots of functionality coming there. The way this operates, so there's going to be two ways of being able to access this. First of all is through SaaSboss. So very similar how someone can access iCall Suite today, where they log into SaaSboss as their service. There's that go to iCall Suite button. for secure call, there's going to be a go to secure call button. It single signs them into the secure call platform, and they do have to enter a few details around name of the person's name on the credit card, where it's going to, that kind of stuff. However, the credit card details they'll see the data, as I mentioned, they'll see the details being entered there, but it's all fully secure from that side of things. The other way, which this will be presented to your customers as well, which is probably a preferred method from a lot of people, is actually going to be a application inside WebEx. So customers using WebEx soft phones or WebEx collaboration suites, they're going to have the functionality there to be able to see those details, take that credit card payment and all the information within their soft phone. So they don't even have to load up an additional browser window or anything to take those details. Going to smooth that out, make that a lot easier for your customers to take that information. And the way this kind of operates from our side of things, so Access 4 is still sitting in the middle there. We're putting in a SIP trunk into that into secure call. So that way, that's where the credit card details are going. They're getting that DTMF tones, and they're sending it off to our credit card pay companies. So they're doing all that. And masked card details, as you can see there, are being sent back to the user on the voice path, or the person on the soft phones or physical phones, whatever it looks like. So they can still see details are being entered, as you can see there, but they can't copy the details down. They don't know exactly what they are, anything like that. If there's anything, they'll also still be on the phone when the details go through. So when the card payment goes through, if something's wrong, if it's declined, something along those lines, they will detect that as well. So they can still fix that up as it goes. And while it's in this state, the user on the phone can still speak to the operator in the call center as well. So we're not stopping anything from there. There's still voice traffic going both ways. It's just the DTMF tones that secure call is capturing and blocking from going to the agent in the contact center. So a lot of functionality there, a lot of easy way of being able to provide that. I know when I first looked at this product, I had concerns around agent may put in the wrong bank details, so it doesn't go to the right place, those kind of things. Don't have to worry about that either. When you first set up a customer, there is a one-time access code that gets sent to someone from the customer for them to access, and they put in who's the bank details, where do we need our money going, what's that look like from their side of things. So they make sure the bank details are correct. So you as the reseller, as the partner, don't have to worry about that either. We don't have to worry about that. That's all being done by the customer as well. So where to send, and then when the agent takes that call, they select the where it needs to go to, and that's all they need to do. They don't have the ability to enter that in manually or anything along those lines either. So very secure from that side of things. What this looks like in practice, though, is a little bit different, and things always look a little bit different in practice. So if I jump in here, don't know if that's coming through from an audio perspective. It probably isn't, but what a two-way conversation between the agent and the caller calling in. The person on the call, the agent says, cool, I'm going to make sure this call is secure now. As you see there, they click secure call. That's going to be via that secure call platform. Once it's in there, they can see what's going. They get a windows like this. So they put in how much is the payment, where it's going to, and the contact details of the card. And the caller over the phone enters their credit card details. Comes through real time. Once they put in there, press hash, goes to the next field, so goes to the expiry. Same situation, put in the expiry date, press hash, goes through. The agent on the phone can see last 4 digits. I just want to confirm, I'm charging you $35. Coming off your credit card that ends in 4 ones. Perfect. They hit submit payment, and that goes through. So it's making that payment super simple and for them to be able to do. Payment successful, perfect. So it makes it nice and easy for them to be able to provide. So a lot of functionality coming across into this new platform from that side of things. So that's coming out end of this month, early next month. So if you are interested, you got customers in that space, let us know. Happy to have that conversation, do demos, whatever that looks like for your customers as well. But it's something that we're very excited about at Access 4, being able to provide that next level of security and functionality to your customers is definitely something we're aiming for a lot for over the next few months. Next one is SMS Gateway. So SMS Gateway, we launched this 12, 18 months ago. It's been a little bit time in our portfolio at this point. And people are constantly asking, when are we providing some more functionality to it, things like that. And this is what we released a couple of weeks ago. It was a bit of a soft launch. So you may not have heard that we launched it initially, that kind of thing as well. But what we launched was alphabetic sender IDs. So if you don't know what that is, it gives your customer the ability to send SMSs from a personalized sender ID. So instead of having the E164 phone number or the +614 or 04 phone number that comes up, they can send it as their business name. Something along those lines has to be registered back to the company and that sort of things. And it just makes things easier. This is a one-way SMS only, so they can't receive SMSs back in. Where this can be, lots of use cases where this can be useful. We use it internally. If you've done provisioning on our platform, which I'm sure most of you have, you get an SMS from SaaSboss every time you create multiple users. Same kind of situation. Very useful from that side of things. What this does, so the benefits for your customers with this is improved brand recognition. You want to make sure that you're receiving the SMS, you know where it's coming from. If you receive an SMS from an 04 number, could be anyone, you know, it has that name there, you know where it's coming from, giving them that credibility as well. A lot of companies don't do that. They're still sending us that 04 number, make sure that your customers are aware where it's coming from. And just better customer experiences overall as well. Knowing where it's coming from, being able to just go back through your messages on your phone and know which one to click on rather than searching for the SMS, that kind of visibility is very important to your customers as well. So it's a very easy way of being able to provide this to your customers. As I mentioned, lots of use cases, two-factor authentication, booking confirmations, all of those standard situations where it's a one-way SMS that don't need feedback back in. You can have links into so you can have links via URLs into if they need to provide feedback or those kind of things. They want more information. That's how they can still provide that. So they can still get that information that way. Still need to give your customers options to opt out as well. So you do need to provide the information around how they can opt out of getting that SMS. Once again, that's probably still going to be a link into a website, something along those lines. So still being able to provide that functionality to your customers. IT notifications is probably a really good example of this. If you have customer has an outage of some sort, or AWS is having an outage, Azure is having an outage, something along those lines. It's affecting your customers. Your service desk are being spammed by this. If you can send an SMS to your customer saying IT outage or something along those lines, and what that information is in the SMS, that's going to make things a lot clearer to them, rather than your customer getting an SMS around just a random phone number that in the body just says IT outage, what that looks like. So being able to make that easier as well. So giving them that visibility around where it's coming from, who it's coming from, and making sure they have that. Once again, putting that URL in there so they can still respond to it is going to be critical. So they still need to provide that. It's sort of just a question pop up just while I was on this topic. Port numbers into SaaSboss, as well as calls and SMS on the same DID. Yes. So this is something we are working on. We just signed we're working on with a new vendor at the moment to look into this. So with that, we're going to be able to provide that functionality. We are 3 months off, 4 months off. So it's going to be something coming out towards the end of the year. But it's something that we're at a stage where we're working with vendors who can provide this functionality with us. We can build into SaaSboss. At the moment, it's less of a technical limitation, and it's more us implementing it inside SaaSboss and getting it up and running. So it is something we're working on. We're not that far off it, and being able to provide that to your customers towards the end of this year, early next year is on that roadmap as well. So that's being able to send an SMS and get a call back in via the same number into wherever it needs to go to. So that's something we're also working on. Inside, so I don't have screenshots for this. Inside SaaSboss at the moment, on the front page, where there's the search bar and it says welcome Mitchell, whatever it says for yourselves. In that box, there is one there that says roadmap. If you click on that roadmap button, I should have prepared that for this. That has every product set within Access 4 and what we're currently working on at the moment as well. So everything that Aaron and Anne ran through a couple of months ago with their roadmap, what they were working on from a product perspective and a platform perspective, all of that's in there. So I do highly recommend having a look at that as well if you get a chance. But back on SMS and Sender IDs, lots of information there, lots of functionality there. This is live already, so your customers can request these Sender IDs when they need to. There is some verification that needs to happen though. So when you do request it inside SaaSboss, that actually creates a case for our support team. Our support team verify it. So we're stopping something like Access 4, for instance, saying we're sending an SMS saying we're AWS. You shouldn't be sending customers SMSs from a different company name. So we do stop that internally before we send it to our vendors, who would also stop it for us anyway. So we have processes in place. So if you do request a Sender ID, you're not going to get it straight away. There may be a day or two just while we check it internally. We send it to our vendor, they check it as well. But once that is confirmed, it all looks good. You're able to send us that number, or that name rather. And on an outbound, when you do go to send an SMS, it'll be another option in that drop down. Can have a couple per customer as well. So as Access 4, we have trademarks for SaaSboss. We may want to send SMSs as SaaSboss as well. So you do have that functionality in there from that side of things as well. But all of that's built in at the moment. So ready to go for your customers when you need to. So Go Integrator Kara as well. So this is another product that's been around forever within our platform. Lots of functionality in there. If anyone's done CRM integrations with us and all of that, that's all done through Go Integrator Kara. A few things that we get asked about a lot: bulk deployments and additional functionality of what that looks like. So Kara is the way you kind of do most of that at a per user basis within our platform, which does make bulk deployments difficult from that side of things. So this is going to be on our Partner Resource Center if it isn't already. There is ways of doing bulk deployments using Kara. So the two most common issues that we run into is installing on people's computers, not great. You can silent install Kara from that side of things. So being able to provide that just from a command line, pushing it out to the computer, /silent at the end means that the user doesn't know it's being installed. You don't have to remote in, run it each individual computer, all of that. Remotely install it silently fixes that problem. So that's a nice way to be able to do that. The other issue that pops up a lot is at first time launch, there's the access code that needs to be entered. People don't like giving that access code to end users. People put in the wrong code. It makes things difficult as well. What you can do is one-time launch code. Could be the first time, going to be the first time launched, what they need to access. And it's launching gointegratorkara.exe. So standard from that side of things. And then you can add an argument at the end there of access code, and then the access code for either Nava or Kara. So Nava being the UC Express version of it as well. Both of those will work. And when they launch it up, it's not going to prompt them. It goes straight to asking them for their soft phone credentials from that side of things. This is a great way of being able to provide that and launch that on your customers' computers without them having to launch that access code, ask that access code every single time as well. So this is functionality that's built into it. This is going to be on our Partner Resource Center if it's not already. So being able to deploy it in that way without jumping on every single person's computer or giving them a document on how to launch it themselves makes things much smoother. The other side of Kara that people don't look at too much as well is some of the advanced custom integrations and functionality you can get out of Kara or Nava Go Integrator from that side of things. So inside the application, there is call events, and this can give you some additional functionality. This can be things from screen pops, loading websites, buttons here. So this is an example that I've got here. And what this allows is trigger buttons for pause and resume of call recording. So if you're running WebEx, you do have the button at the bottom of the call window to pause and resume a call recording. If you're running Teams Enhanced, you don't have that functionality. You're still running something else to be able to pause and resume that call recording from that side of things. This is giving you an additional way of being able to provide that. So two lines there, one to pause, one to resume, line of what the action is, and record and resume from that side of things as well. And what that looks like within Go Integrator Kara, I'm not sure how that's showing on the presentation, but on the call toolbar at the top of the screen, if you've got it docked there or if you've moved it around to wherever it needs to be, when you're on a call, you do get two additional buttons there, that pause and resume. Those icons that are there can be changed as well. So you may want it to be a green and a red or something along those lines. So they do know what's happening. And they can click that. It still gives them the audible tone saying calls being paused or call recordings being paused or call recordings being resumed. So they still get that functionality, but it's just giving them a way of being able to do that much simpler, much easier when they need to. So this is a nice integration that you can provide to your customers, or a nice functionality you can provide to your customers for no additional cost on your side of things if they've already got Go to Kara running. The other thing this can be used for is triggers. So custom triggers, very similar situation. You can set it up so that when a user turns on Go Integrator Kara, when a user turns on Do Not Disturb, for instance, as this one is here. So it doesn't matter if you're on a call or off a call, so your hook state is always Do Not Disturb gets turned on. You can make it do a pop-up. So for this example, they get a pop-up saying Do Not D is now on, make sure to turn it off. Pops up as soon as they turn it on, just a reminder, gives them that information just as a, hey, did you do this on purpose? They may have accidentally hit the button on their handset, anything like that, still pops up on the desktop from that side of things. Great example of this. The other way that that the button or the trigger can both be used is loading a website. So a great example of this could be if you're in a call center, you're taking lots of calls from a support perspective. Call comes in, single click to open up their new case form. So that way you can straight away either opens it up for them or single click to open it up via that button. And this could be an integration into a support form or something like that that Go Integrator Kara doesn't normally support. So it's not sending the call information back. It's just loading that page so the user can still enter that details straight away. With this as well, in the same way that the D&D is now on, that device state is being picked up as a trigger within the portal as well. So that's a parameter that's being added into there. Same can go through into that website pop as well. So if you in the URL, when you're loading a new case, if you can put information in there that loads into the form, great. Same situation, you can provide that way as well. So this is functionality that's once again part of Kara. A little bit of work to configure, but can make things a lot simpler to those who need it as well. So it's a great way of being able to provide that functionality both internally to your own staff and to your customers as well, for no additional cost, as I mentioned, if they've already got Kara as well. Last thing I'm going to run through today is some updates to SaaS Boss 2.0. So every 3 months, we're running some updates to this. This is coming out in end of this month, early next month. I don't have the release date off the top of my head, unfortunately. You got to add to my comments, 16th of September. So this is coming out on the 16th. So there is more coming as well. We have another webinar next week and a few other EDMs going out as well. But most of the changes happening here is around porting. So we changed our porting form and the porting form for submitting a port a while ago. Got some updates there, but some other updates coming as well. So that looks very washed out from my side of things. I'm not sure how it's coming through on the webinar, but the porting orders form that's coming through gets that new SaaS Boss 2.0 revamp. So a lot smoother, a lot more information, that new color scheme, all of that as well, which also means that if you're using the custom color schemes that you set up at a resale level, those will come up into here as well. So you're getting all of that functionality come through as well, but making things a lot easier from that side. The other nice thing that's coming up is requesting new DIDs. So when you request a new DID, you do have the option of either your reseller inventory or a customer's inventory. So it doesn't have to go against a customer straight away. You can just put it into your inventory, just put in the details from the address, how many numbers, all that kind of settings as normal. But when you do a customer's inventory, you can select which customer it is, which group it's going to as well, and you can import the address from that group. So don't have to double handle, you don't have to put in the information again, everything like that. Can pull the information from the group, submit, request how many numbers you need, hit submit, and it's going to assign those DIDs straight to that group right away. No delays from that side of things. Don't have to worry about that. Means that if someone creates your customer, when you go to order numbers, you don't have to resubmit the address again or anything like that. Makes things a lot easier. If you have multiple groups as well, means that you can just create all the groups first of all, and then submit that this way as well. So streamlining that process a little bit, not double handling addresses or anything like that. We already have the information in SaaSBoss. It's just reusing that information in a different place to make things easier for yourselves. And then requesting into your reseller inventory. Of course, there's not going to be an address there for us to know. So we just need to, you can still add the address from a customer. If you don't want to go to a customer straight away, we can still pull it across. But most of the time, going to be entering the address manually from that side of things. The other one that we're changing is our porting order form. So we changed this a little while ago. We removed a whole heap of functionality. We added some. We made things a lot smoother from that side of things. We're doing the same thing again. We've taken your feedback once again, making this a lot more streamlined. What got changed to 6 steps is now dropping down to 5, so making things a little bit easier there. But it's still along the same lines of who's your customer, who needs the information from your side of things, what kind of porting type is it? Is it Australia? Is it New Zealand? Streamlining that process as well. Account details. You can see on this page here, where we are asking for information around invoicing, around a letter of authorities, that kind of stuff. We're providing more information around why we are asking for this and what is applicable to upload as well. So I know that I personally have accidentally uploaded invoices into the customer authority form and vice versa, just because repeating things, making it running through it too quickly. This is going to fix that as well. So making things a little bit easier to put in, making sure things are in the right spot, making things easier for our porting team as well. Same with porting numbers. When you're entering the number for information, just streamlining that process. When you're requesting the EBD and that kind of stuff as well, just streamlining that process within the portal as well. So just making things easier and faster to submit inside here. The other one we're changing is our reporting pages. So from a reseller perspective, there is a lot of reports in the system. So from a CDR report, charges, billing, all of that, making things in that new 2.0 interface, making things a little bit easier from there as well, from that side of things. So lots of UI changes, streamlining it, things like that. As I mentioned, we do have a webinar coming up. So I'll leave this on the page for just a moment. This is next Thursday. It will have Anne, a head of platform rather, as well as myself running through what those changes are, how it can help your business, how it can streamline your workflows and what that looks like. So that's coming up next week on the 12th at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern, 4 p.m. for New Zealand, and midday for those in WA. I think that time works out right. So perfect. Jump on there. We'd love to get you along to that session. It's a great way of being able to provide feedback around the changes we're doing as well. So love getting that feedback directly from yourselves as well. Last thing we're going to touch on as well is our annual conference, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time. So I'm sure a lot of you have already registered. A lot of you are coming to that already. So that is still going ahead. If you have missed out, you haven't ordered anything like that, reach out to your account manager. May still be able to get a few slots left, something like that. Maybe I get you fit in. But lots of that coming. So for those of you who are coming to that, it's going to be great to see you. A lot of the next section of the text will be covering off some of the more technical and more interesting things that are coming out of our conference. So next next month, we'll be talking about what was missed out from those who couldn't attend our conference from a technical and roadmap perspective as well. I think I already answered the only question that's in the system at the moment. I'll give you guys a minute if there is any other Q&A. However, otherwise, thank you again for attending another Access the Techs. Was a relatively short one this month, but otherwise we'll be back again next month for another one running through those details as I mentioned. Otherwise, I'll see you in next week's webinar regarding those SaaS Plus 2.0 changes. Doesn't look like any other questions have come through, which is no problem at all. Thank you again for attending, and I'll see you all next time.